So, there is this debate amongst the Christians and the Muslims about whether Jesus is God or not. Some Muslims, they say that he cannot be God because he does not have the qualities of God. So let's compare the attributes of God that all of us we agree, no matter the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, and let's see if Jesus possesses those attributes. So first and foremost, we all agree that God is all-knowing. For anyone to be God, he has to know the past, the present, and the future. Now from the Bible, we find out that Jesus was not all-knowing. Who is saying that? In the New Testament, in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 13, verse number 32, people came to Jesus to ask him the question about the future, when the last day is going to be. So Jesus, in Mark chapter 13, verse number 32, Jesus says, "But of that day and hour no one knows, no man, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but only the Father." So according to Jesus, only Father knows the future, not even Jesus. If he does not know the future, he cannot be God, because God by default has to be all-knowing. God is all-powerful. We all agree with that. He made the whole universe. He made the stars, the galaxies, the mountains, the humans. God is all-powerful. According to the Bible, Jesus was not all-powerful. Jesus himself, he says in the Gospel of John chapter 5, verse number 19, "Verily I say unto you, the Son cannot do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do." Again he says in the Gospel of John chapter 5, verse number 30, "That I can of my own, I cannot do anything. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of Father which has sent me." So Jesus is saying that he's not all-powerful. He's saying that God, Father, is all-powerful, and Jesus is just obeying the will of the Father. Again, if he's not all-powerful, he cannot be God. Now we all agree that God is the highest power. He's the highest entity. No one is higher than God, and God does not have a God. But Jesus had a God. Now who's saying this? According to the Gospel of John chapter 20, verse number 17, Jesus is saying, "I ascend unto my Father and your Father, unto my God and unto your God." So Jesus is saying that he has a God, he has a Father, he has a power which is higher and greater than him. God does not have a God, Jesus had a God. That means Jesus cannot be God. Now according to the Bible, God is invisible to humans, but Jesus was flesh and blood. So it says in the Gospel of John chapter 1, verse number 18, that no man has seen God at any time. It says in Gospel of John chapter 5, verse number 37, "You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor has seen his shape." So this passage is coming from Jesus, and he's saying about God. And it says in the Gospel of John chapter 4, verse number 24, that God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So we all know that Jesus was walking, he was eating, he was breathing oxygen, he got tired and he was sleeping, and people seeing him, people watching him. So Jesus cannot be God because God is invisible. And lastly, no one is greater than God, but Jesus acknowledged that someone is greater than himself. So when we look into the Gospel of John chapter 14, verse number 28, Jesus, he is saying that my Father is greater than I. That means Jesus cannot be God. So no matter how you dissect it, is that Jesus was a human, that he was a prophet. His message was to invite people to the oneness of God, just like Abraham and Moses before him, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, after him. So if you want to learn more about who is the God of Jesus, we can send you a free copy of the Quran. You can go to the website gainpeace.com or give us a call at 1-800-662-ISLAM.